Hello, it is January 26th. I can't believe we're almost already over the first month of 2022. But here we are. We've got a whole bunch of news. So let us go ahead and begin. If you didn't already know, you can find us on podcast platforms where available. If you don't want to watch the video form, you can watch the audio form, or I guess listen to the audio form. But we'll be promoting that over the next couple of shows. Regardless, though, let's go ahead and get into the news. We mentioned, I think last week, about the Raven Software Union that was formed. Activision Blizzard has not responded to them yet. As of yesterday's deadline set out by the company, Washington Post has that story. And I don't know if they will respond to the 34 workers over at the Raven Software QA team. So we'll see. The deadline was yesterday at 6 p.m. Eastern, and they will now proceed to file for a union election with the National Labor Relations Board. Turns out they're going to keep doing what they're going to do. There was after the deadline, the studio head, Brian Raffle, he sent an email to the staff where Activision Blizzard shared the statement that echoed Raffle's email. Quote, after carefully reviewing and considering CWA's initial request of the company, we worked quickly to find a mutually acceptable solution. With the CWA, that would have led to an expedited election process. Unfortunately, both parties could not reach an agreement. Raffle wrote, we expect that the union will soon be moving forward with the filing of the petition to the National Labor Relations Board for an election of eligible Raven employees. If filed, the company will respond formally to that petition promptly. The most important thing to the company is that each eligible employee has the opportunity to have their voice heard and their individual vote counted, and we think all employees at Raven should have a say in this decision. The Game Workers Alliance and the CWA expressed confidence in their petition to the NLRB for a union election in a joint statement. We are proud to file with the NLRB as we enjoy supermajority support for our union and know that together we will gain formal legal recognition we have earned, read the statement. WashingtonPost.com for more information on that. It is a developing story, so maybe by the time you read this, there might actually be more, as this was recorded on Wednesday afternoon, and it probably has been more. It's a busy topic, for sure. ESL, the Electronic Sports League, and Face It have both been acquired for $1.5 billion by the Savvy Gaming Group. Also, the two of them are merging. That was another big announcement. The Savvy Gaming Group is backed by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, or the PIF, which is the same fund that has acquired stakes in Activision Blizzard, EA, and Take-Two previously. I'm sure that's going to lead to great things. Virtuos has acquired Ukrainian art production studio Volmy Games. The Ukrainian company employs 140 people and specializes in providing 2D and 3D art services to the games industry. It has contributed to such titles as Diablo 2 Resurrected, Metro Exodus, Paladins, and more. GameIndustry.biz has that story if you're wanting to read more about it. Epic Games has announced a brand new studio in Poland. Also at GameIndustry.biz. Let's take a look, see if there's anything else. It was announced via a blog post. Studio's work will be led by staff from developer Plastic, the creator behind titles such as Bound, Datura, and Linger in Shadows. Our team is incredibly proud to spearhead the growth of Epic in Poland, end quote, said Epic Games studio director Mikhail Staniszewski. Got it. Poland's a growing hub for the top engineering talent. We need to create amazing new gaming experiences for players around the world. Cool. Meanwhile, over in Japan, Capcom announced that its fiscal 2022 which ends in March, on March 31st, 2022 results, and are very profitable. Company continuing to crush. Resident Evil Village currently sitting at 5.7 million units sold, which makes the RE franchise with 123 million. Monster Hunter Stories 2 selling very well, 1.4 million, making the Monster Hunter franchise sit at 78 million total. And sales rose 36% in 9 months, ending in December to 775 million made on the year. Operating profit increased 44% to over 300 million. It's the highest level ever for sales and profit during Q3 for the company. Congratulations. Meanwhile, at Xbox, their gaming revenue is up 8% thanks to first-party games. I'm sure Forza Horizon 5 is one of them. And of course, Game Pass, which just celebrated 25 million subscribers with the Activision Blizzard announcement, which is absolutely crazy. I'm going to dive into this story a little bit more, this next story, because I want to know why. Nvidia has abandoned its ARM Holdings acquisition and plans a move that will cost Nvidia 1.25 billion USD. I want to know why. Like, what happened here? Let's dive into the story. I love video card and hardware review sites because video cards with a Z is where we're going. It says Nvidia faced strong opposition from regulatory bodies in their bid to purchase ARM Holdings, a British company owning the IP of its RISC, reduced instruction set computer architectures. After numerous attempts to convince the market and governments that could oppose such a transaction, Nvidia has allegedly given up the plans, which means that it will have to mark a $1.25 billion loss, when it should be considered a breakup fee. Nvidia's original plan was to pay 40 billion USD for the company. However, the US chipmaker no longer expects this transaction to close. Bloomberg had the quote, Nvidia Corp is quietly preparing to abandon its purchase of ARM Ltd from SoftBank Group corporations after making little to no progress in winning approval for the $40 billion chip company, according to people familiar with the matter. So it got broken up. I see. That was a pretty big announcement back when that happened last year. I think they were really counting on them to help push and propel their AI stuff forward. So we'll see what happens with them after that. Steam has announced its dynamic cloud sync, which is an improvement to the Steam cloud saves to make it easier for players to move seamlessly from the Steam Deck to other PCs. Mentioning the Steam Deck, we should also add in that it's launching on the 25th of February, also known as Elden Ring Day. So if you can't play while you're at home, then you can play on the go, probably. Just head over to store.steampowered.com for more information about that. I am not getting a Steam Deck. I know a lot of people in the chat are, though, and people are very excited about it. We saw Rami Ismail talk about it on the most recent episode of Drop Frames, if you want to check that out. Or I guess episode 300, not episode 301. Moving along to gaming news, we had a bunch of big announcements yesterday. Jason Schreier has announced that Activision is committed to releasing at least the next 3 Call of Duty games on the PlayStation, even after the Xbox acquisition. According to people familiar with the deal, he tweeted out, that means that COD 2022, COD 2023, and Warzone 2, which is coming in 2023. After that, who really knows? I would suspect that they're going to start, figuring out exactly what they want to do with that. Just to be clear, this news of Activision's contract with Sony is not related to the timing of when the acquisition closes. This contract was signed before the acquisition. Bloomberg.com has all of that news. You will need a subscription for it. I would say just go and follow Jason Schreier. He usually tweets out all that stuff. Speaking of Activision Blizzard, or at least Blizzard, they announced yesterday, kind of out of nowhere, like they're making a survival game. They put up a big post about it on their website, and essentially this is just a giant recruiting push alongside a new game announcement. We'll just read a little snippet from their post. Blizzard is embarking on our next quest. We are going on a journey to a whole new universe home to a brand new survival game for PC and console, a place full of heroes we have yet to meet, stories yet to be told, and adventures yet to be lived. A vast realm of possibility waiting to be explored. Every story needs a teller, and every world needs builders. What if that could be you? Apply here, careers.blizzard.com. We got a little bit of art. They're hiring for art as well as design and engineering for the official title, the unannounced survival game. Just a giant job post. But people definitely lost their shit over this yesterday. It was a pretty big announcement. Some other game announcements did happen yesterday. EA confirmed that Respawn Entertainment, who's made things like Apex Legends, Titanfall, the most recent Star Wars Dark Souls game that I want to call Force Unleashed, but that's not it because it's Star Wars Fallen Order. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? Yes, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. For some reason, I always forget that. Well, hey, they're making 3 new Star Wars games out there at Respawn Entertainment. We have a new Star Wars Jedi game, which we already knew about, I believe. We have a new Star Wars FPS game, which is very exciting. And also a new Star Wars strategy game, which is... what does that even mean? I don't even know what that means. Kind of strange. They have a bunch of quotes in here. Let's see, where do we want to begin? We're excited to continue working with the superbly talented developers at Respawn, said Douglas Riley, VP at Lucasfilm Games. They have demonstrated excellence in telling epic Star Wars stories, along with best-in-class gameplay across different genres, and we are looking forward to bringing more amazing experiences to the galaxy far, far away. Building on the previous successes of our EA relationship, this new collaboration highlights the trust and mutual respect shared between world-class teams at EA, Respawn, and Lucasfilm Games, said Sean Shoptaw, SVP at Walt Disney Games. Quote, fostered by the expertise and passion within each team, we'll create thrilling original games for diverse audiences across the Star Wars galaxy. So far, a bunch of PR jargon. It says right here, working with Lucasfilm Games on a new FPS in the Star Wars galaxy is a dream come true for me, as this is a story I've always wanted to tell, said Peter Hirschman, game director at Respawn. Peter previously worked as VP of development at LucasArts and was executive producer on the original title Star Wars Battlefront games. Hirschman and the team at Respawn have just begun work on the title. By the way, if you want to go work on them, check out respawn.com/careers, which is the entirety of this whole thing is. It's just, we're making more games. Please come work with us. We need more people immediately. What else is going on? Oh, there was a bunch of like spill-off news regarding all of this EA and Star Wars stuff. According to people familiar with the announcement, Battlefront 3 is basically dead as EA has moved all Star Wars projects to Respawn. There's some history about EA and Respawn. They paid up to $455 million to acquire Respawn at the end of 2017. Since 2018, they launched and hit 100 million plus Apex Legends players. They launched and hit 20 million plus players for the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and both titles have grossed $2.5 billion combined. Pretty good situation for Respawn, and a smart decision from EA to snatch them up. That's wild that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order has also done that well. Pretty insane. Final Fantasy XIV news on the 25th of January, which was yesterday prior to the recording of this. The Oceanian, let's go with that, data center launched with the name Materia. Final Fantasy XIV is now available out there in Australia and New Zealand, and anyone else that wants to play on that server. And of course, Final Fantasy XIV is once again back on sale after being not on sale since kind of the launch of, I guess it was like the end of December-ish. Took about a month off. So I think a lot of servers still have character creation locked, so they're still figuring out how to continue doing after operating after such a massive amount of success. Crysis 4 has been announced out there from Crytek. It is the fourth in the series after 10 years since the last one. That's crazy. I didn't realize that Crysis 3 came out 10 years ago. Pretty insane. It's another hiring post out there from Crytek. If you want to check them out, you can go over to crysis.com/blog. Check out the newest blog. I'm sure they have a link over to their recruitment page. Halo is out there talking about how successful Halo Infinite is, as it was the biggest launch in Halo history, Halo franchise history, with over 20 million players. That's an insane amount of people and really shows how big really Game Pass is. And also the fact that like Halo's back, right? Like it's a force to reckon with. I'd be curious to see what those numbers are now with how many people are still playing Halo. Be kind of interesting. Frost Giant Studios, which is formed by ex-Blizzard staff, has announced that it raised $25 million to make an Unreal Engine 5 RTS. I believe that was through a Series A funding. IGN has that story. I'd like to see some more RTS every once in a while. They got $25 million to make it. Should get them started. On the eve of release, or not really the eve, but we're getting closer. Dying Light 2 is very close to coming out. The dev team has announced a roadmap of post-launch content via their Twitter. We'll pull this graphic up and take a look. They're looking for 5 years of support for this game. We've got story DLC, new weapons, enemies, events, free and paid DLCs. You can see we've got challenges and things launching this spring. First DLC is due out in June. Seems like it's a pretty good time to be a Dying Light 2 fan, as they have a bunch of stuff in store. We'll see how that game comes out, see how it ships, see how it does. I haven't seen any early reviews or previews for it yet, so that embargo should be here soon. Maybe by Friday, we'll be able to talk about it. Farming Simulator 22 has sold 3 million units globally. Turns out people still like farming. And by people, I mean the entire population of Germany. And that's about Germany and crazy US people, I think, is all that play Farming Simulator. I think that's kind of how that goes. You can check the math on that. Pokemon Legends has their embargo break. People seem to like it. Seems pretty good. There's been 85, there's been about 19 or so critics at time of recording. They're sitting around an 85 Metacritic. 20 critics on OpenCritic sitting at an 86. We watched a couple of reviews earlier on the stream from GameSpot and IGN. They say the core game is great. However, the technical limitations of the hardware that lie in the Switch fucking suck. And that's kind of what everyone thought was going to be the case. But it seems like the actual game is good. So if you're looking to dive into a Pokemon's, should be there on Friday. You should be able to pick it up. It just might run like ass. Should run really badly. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves is another option coming out on Friday, as that collection for PS5 is coming out. And turns out when those games came out, they were really good. They're still good. Getting some pretty high reviews for I believe that's Uncharted 4 and The Lost Legacy is what that bundle is. If you have not played those are definitely two of my favorite Uncharted games, with Lost Legacy, I think, being the best one out of all the Uncharted games. Which is funny because it doesn't even feature any of the best characters, in my opinion. It's just the best game. Moving along to the old rumor mill. We've got Kotaku with a weird article. Not even sure I want to cover this. Sorry for the pause. The title of the article is Mysterious. Guilty Gear characters' boobs keep growing with every sequel. Guilty Gear Strive continues the series trend of enlarging Biken's bits. Okay. Next story. PlayStation has, oh, these aren't rumors. Sorry. These are just random stories. These aren't rumors. My apologies. I misread. We've also got new PlayStation Plus games for February. They include EA Sports UFC 4, Planet Coaster, Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, which is a Wonderlands one-shot adventure, which is arguably a really good Borderlands experience. If you've not played that yet, definitely check it out, especially if you are a D&D fan as well as a Borderlands fan. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson took to Twitter to say that he's starring in a new video game-based film to be announced later this year. The tweet had the dialogue or the words, "We're going to bring one of the biggest, most badass games to the screen, one that I've played for years." What if he's making like a Grand Theft Auto game? Be kind of crazy. Or maybe God of War. Or sorry, Gears of War. Could be a lot of things. He already did a Doom. He already did a Rampage. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like maybe Call of Duty, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know what games he's played. Unfortunately, I'm not Dwayne's friend. Over at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, their Twitter account is currently using Mario Kart to explain how booster shots work to people. Curious? I'm going to take a look. What is this? Hold on. Let's take a look here. Let's watch this together here. There's evidence that a booster dose reduces a person's likelihood of being infected with SARS-CoV-2. That's super like Mario, but less likely doesn't mean impossible. In general, boosters reduce symptom severity and duration and reduce transmission. Here's the video. The COVID Cup. Let's get boosted. What in the... Now they're playing Mario Kart and they're being chased by the by Omicron. There's an Omicron shell chasing them. They're hitting a speed ramp that's called Booster. They've gotten a power up. It's a banana peel. Get boosted at the end. Oh no, that's okay. Hey, make sure you're vaxxed. Okay, make sure you get boosted. That's a weird one right there. All you need to do is drop banana peels apparently behind you, and you won't catch COVID, according to Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. Crazy. And the last bit of news, according to a Twitter post, is that Valve has updated Half-Life 2's user interface, which is most likely done for the Steam Deck. I'm going to take a look at the screenshot here. Oh, yeah. That is kind of interesting. It looks like this. It's bigger. Huh. That makes sense. You know, it's a handheld. Probably didn't cost them that much resources to do. Obviously, I'm sure people are like, wait, does that mean the Half-Life 3 is coming out? Is Half-Life 3? Will Half-Life 3 be a game? No. No, it will not. No, it will not. At least not for a while. Maybe. I don't know. Who could say? Does anyone even want Half-Life 3 these days? I don't really know. Let me know in the comments. That's it for JPNN today. We added back some background noise. Therefore, everyone should be happy now. And, yeah. Let me know in the comments if you're playing Half-Life 3, if you'd be excited for that. Because that's trendy, that's topical. That's what all the kids want to know. Is if you're going to play Half-Life 3. I got to go.